that as Grindstone. We talked about Johnny Hickman getting you into it. Talked about a little bit about you bringing the drugs into VA and giving it some of your part, not just all the drugs, but your role that you played.
Exactly.
And now, cause we trying to build up to try to see what got you that life sentence, and we noticed that the violation came when you end up doing the 2 years after you got shot. So after you got shot, well, let's scale back. We know after you got shot, and that was the violation. You went on down the road to the 2 years.
Did the turnaround on that one?
The turnaround. That's the one I took you to court for. Or was it the second?
No, it was the second one. I think you took me to court on.
Okay, and that was the shootout at the club by the grave.
Yeah.
Okay, now you got a sister, you got a brother. Like I got 3 sisters that God bless the dead. Well, my brother, miss you, my big bro, Junior. He gone. So your sister Charlotte, she played a role in your life. Your brother Dominique. Unfortunately, me and your brother, they was on drugs, but we still had that instinct to have to look out for them. How did your sister Charlotte play a role in your life coming up? Because she was there with you on that gangster shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because you can talk about that because, me and you know, for which we'll touch bases later.
Yeah.
Who knew where you was when you got caught up to get the life sentence? Yeah. It's only 2 people, that was me and her.
The role she played back then, you know what? I'm gonna be honest, man. It really wasn't a role she played in my life. It was a role I played in her life. A lot of people that knew her, they knew her because that's Roger Rabbit's sister.
Right.
At the time they were saying let's keep bagging at Roger Rabbit's sister. And that is what she basically piggybacked off of. Truth be told. So a lot of guys that was giving her the respect and all of that stuff out there, it was because of who she was tied in with.
Which was you.
Which was me, Key, talking about the VA period,
Right.
So
right.
that's where that came in at.
But she was a gunslinger too. She drove the Cadillac, first young lady on the slab.
Well, I ain't gonna this Pinpoint podcast, I ain't gonna dilute shit, and I ain't gonna front. I'm not gonna say she was the first woman on slab. Back then you just didn't have a lot of women like that on the slab back then.
Okay.
Now she had a slab.
That's for sure.
But I can't sit up here and say she was the first one on the slab. Now on the south side, like I say, you didn't have a lot of women that was slabbing. It was a lot of fellas. We was doing a whole lot of slabbing back then. You know what I'm talking about? And she got hers and done what she had to do. And like I say, a lot of guys respected the fact that she was on the slab once again because who she was tied in with.
Right. It's not even about being on the slab, so we don't want to get tied into that. But we just tied into it. I already know what's building up to the prison sentence, to the life sentence that you received, and how you made it out. So we know you started off at 14. Johnny Hickman molded you to be the man you were, the person you mimicked him to be, the killer, the gangster that you became. People feared you on the street. The cops, Officer Hicks and a couple of other officers, they actually said it on one of the Pinpoint.
One of the interviews that I did.
One of the interviews, not the Pinpoint,
yeah.
but you can find it on Pinpoint Foundation on
YouTube.
Appreciate you representing Pinpoint Foundation. He's one of our mentors, by the way, for Pinpoint Foundation. And you spoke about that, so they actually shared that with us. Not nothing that we actually knew. We just found this out. They prepared for you in the type of mentality that you had. They actually had whatever they call it, roll call. I don't know what the fuck the cops got. But they talked about you with them.
Yeah.
So, now here it is. You lead up to this, you're in shootouts, you come home in 1992.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know a case of mine, like I say, I don't know if I beat this case. I already say, God bless me, got dismissed. I ain't no Christian, none of that shit. However, I'm a firm believer in God. Whatever you believe in, that's on you. But I was blessed. Case was dismissed. That what moved me and drove me to Atlanta in June 1991. Right? The case got dismissed in May 1991. So I come back to go to real estate school. You come home. We over there, still getting our hustle on, doing what we doing.
Yeah.
What we doing? Quail Meadows.
Quail Meadows.
Quail Meadows off of Telephone Road.
Yeah.
My sister, my big sister over there.
Yeah, Merlin was staying over there.
Merlin was over there, staying over there. I don't know, my baby sister was living over there. But anyway, it was back. It wasn't a VA, but it was, it was hood. And put you on, you and Jay come on, put y'all over there. So we rolling. I'm going to real estate school, still doing my thing in the street, still doing my thing down here in Atlanta, building.
Yeah.
You building back to where you at. You home.
Yeah.
All right, you touchdown. Boots laced up, heels hard down. Rolling with your man who we grew up with, Jay Cheney. And now, here it is. You back doing what you're doing. And then pick up from there what gave you that drive, not the drive, what caused you to go and catch that real prison life? Because at this point you done did, I want to say 2 years, 8, 9 months out your life, just as they call it 3 years.
Yeah. Roughly 3 years at that time.
Roughly 3 years prison time. It was broke up. 2 years and then prior to that 9 months. Yeah. So what drove you to get the life sentence?
That was one of those things to where, man, you got somebody you've been rolling with, you grew up with, or whatever, and y'all cool. Well, at that time, I had a car, and Jay, they used to steal cars back then. You know what I'm talking about? So one of the cars that I had, he didn't know that I had done already bought the car from the young lady. I was finna take the car and put it in the paint shop, and I already had my rims for it and everything. Well, on a couple of occasions, he asked me, "Hey man, let me, steal it and drop it," because it had rims on it already and stuff, music.
Elbows and bows.
Yeah, elbows and bows on it at that time.
No, we riding H-Town.
Yeah, H-Town. But it was one of those things where it was like, nah, man, and I'm telling him now. He don't know why I'm telling him now. I'm telling him now because that's my car. I don't pay for it, but I ain't let him know I paid for it. You know what I'm talking about? At this time, I had already had suspect with him. You know what I'm talking about? Because he wasn't really moving right. You know what I'm talking about? And I started paying attention to a lot of stuff. So at this time right here, he decided that he wanted to steal it anyhow from the VA in front of my mom's apartment at that time. So when he stole the car, I remember going to his grandmother's house looking for him. And my whole thing then, that's my boy. I ain't finna trip. I'm pissed off, but I ain't finna trip. Just give me my shit back and I'm through with it. And his thing was, I don't have it. So with that, okay.
And you remember you called me?
I called you after that.
Yeah, no, after that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I made you come with me and Junior, because Junior was getting reported at his house.
He was doing something.
He had a party.
Yeah, but I had called you when things had really kind of got a little heated. And then I think you had found out or something.
No, I ain't found out. You had told me.
I told you.
And I
remember telling you, I'm like, man, I think I told you I was finna get ready to do X, Y, Z or whatever.
Right.
And I remember you talking, man, come over here with me, this and that. So I'm like, nah. We went back and forth. Then I ended up coming over there, and we sat out, we chilled and everything. And
I made you chill out.
You ain't make me do anything.
Not make like that. You just respect
your
little big brother.
It's big respect that comes to you. You know what I'm talking about?
That's why you called. I was like, man, bring your ass over here.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Yeah,
It was like a mafia thing. I said, I'm gonna make a call in the morning. We gonna meet up. Because all of us grew up
trying to squash everything.
Right. Which I don't, me. I don't like to use the word squash. I like to use we gonna get an understanding. Cause sometimes things that happen, I'm a firm believer it need to happen, should have happened, and that's why it happened. You know what I mean? I know people might say that's fucked up, but shit, so what? You know what I mean? But, you called and you came over and kicked it with us that night. But what changed from that night when you left?
I just don't. I don't know.
Which
man.
got you that
It
life
just-
sentence.
It's just one of those things. I don't like. I never liked the person to feel like he took something from me.
Go back to the Johnny Henry teacher.
Yeah, and you felt like you took something from me, and you want to play with me at the same time. So it was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead on and get this done. So once I had put it in my mind, that was a wrap. You know.
And then you went, you shot up. You followed the ambulance. You're the reason why Bental Hospital got metal detectors.
Yeah.
You shot up when you followed. Cause who you went to shoot?
Well, it was me and my fall partner. See, we was over there in the VA. So my fall partner started shooting dice with
Right.
one of Jay brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And they was out there shooting dice, right? So however, by me and Jay already getting into it, and then Jay brother and my fall partner, they was cool at the time. So I guess he was mad that my fall partner was hanging with me at the time. So they went to kind of beefing while they was shooting dice. One thing led to another, and my fall partner ended up shooting Jay brother at this time. So by
You talking about D?
yeah, that's when D got shot.
Yeah,
Jay brother.
that's when D got shot. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the time, everybody, swore up and down that I'm the one pulled the trigger. I ain't no shoot D. I ain't never pulled the trigger on D. I cut it for D. You know what I'm talking about? So
He grew up with us. He like our little brother. Like, he's hanging with me. Yeah, he's cool.
yeah, and that was between him and my fall partner. But like I say, by me getting into it with his brother, it became a side thing. You know what I'm talking about? So now I'm looking for Jay. And next thing you know, he done went to the police and.
Wait a minute, hold.
Yeah.
He went to the police?
Yeah. Yeah, he went to the police. He went to the police because I ran up on him.
I never knew that.
I ran up on him in the back of the VA one time, and some gunplay took place. You know what I'm talking about, and things was getting so heated up. When his brother got shot, that's when the ambulance incident came in. And that's when I shot up Benton Hospital and all
You
that.
followed the ambulance. Who you thought was in there?
I don't know. I just know that was the ambulance that left the VA after the incident. So we ended up going to the hospital. That incident took place. Windows and all that got shot out of it.
How did you feel? Let's put the mindset real quick. You followed an ambulance truck. The person who you feel that's in there that you want ain't dead. How you feel traveling, following the motherfucker with lights on, got an engine party in the back, and you following, and you in your mind, back in the state of mind that we in, that you was in, saying, "We'll get you, nigga."
I mean, it's one of those things where you trying to get me, so what?
Nobody took it to that level.
So what you mean nobody took it to that level?
Following the damn ambulance.
It don't matter. I mean,
Right.
you done what you did. You follow me to my mom's house to feel like you want to take something from me. I'm gonna follow you where you at, wherever your destination at. That was what it was.
That was that back going to that zero tolerance.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance.
Because it was just the ultimate disrespect. It's like if it's somebody else that I really don't rock with that done that, it probably wouldn't have got that serious. But because it's somebody that I would give my last to, and I felt like you done that to me.
And you'll put your life on the line for
and I'll put my life on the line. And I have done that before with this individual.
A lot of individuals.
Yeah, and it's like, I didn't even give you a reason to do, make you feel like you needed to do that towards me. So it was one of those, immature moments. My mind was just on somewhere else, you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And that's, like I say, that's when the Bentab incident took place, you know what I'm talking about. And I didn't have a thought.
Right.
I just had something I felt like I wanted to do. That's all it was.
So after you did that, you remember you contacted me. You was on the news.
I think they was telling me I was on the news because I
You didn't know you
I
was on the
didn't
news. I the one told you was on the news. I don't know if somebody else, but I know when you called me, I'm like, you know you on the news.
Yeah.
You on the news. You like XYZ. And I was like, man, come on down to Atlanta with me, man. Let's figure this shit out later.
Yeah. I remember
I
you
was
was
trying to.
telling me, man, come on down to Atlanta, because that's when you was doing the real estate.
Yeah, no, I
school
just
or something.
finished real estate school at the
Yeah.
East Community College in Houston,
Yeah.
and I was on my way back to Atlanta. And I was telling you and our other little bro, guy, like, man, y'all come on down here with me, man.
Yeah.
I seen something different down here because we all was
Yeah.
unfortunately violent. Well, I ain't gonna say he was, but I know me and you was violent men, and I know he got an accident murder out of it, you know. But we was a certain type of person, and come on back. But the thing is, when you didn't, unfortunate situation, you got caught. But when you got caught again, like when you got shot, there was still no fear in you. There was no remorse.
No.
You like, fuck y'all. I took all you hoes. What you say? You took all you hoes to get me. You remember that?
I don't know. Like I
you
said,
said something like, you took all you hoes to get me, and that's when you left.
When I went and did that bid.
Yeah, when you went and did that bid, but when you got caught up and they caught you,
Yeah,
where they caught you at?
Yeah, when they caught me, I was at my sister's house at the time, and I remember her and my fall partner leaving to go to the store and do whatever. Next thing you know, my fall partner knocking at the door. I remember him telling me, "Say, man, I need some money to pay for this record truck." And I'm like, "What record truck?" So when I kind of like look at the blinds a little bit, I see a record truck out there and they have my sister's car on the back of it. So I'm like, okay, what's up? So that's when I found out they supposed to stopped her or whatever, and she wanted to get the car towed back to the house. At that time I wasn't really thinking about what was going on. And then next thing you know, that's when I start seeing multiple police calls.
And that's when you found out. That's when you found out they found out your location.
That's when I knew that. Like I say, I only know my side of what was taking place. I started understanding the opposite side of what was taking place when I started speaking with HPD officers that I end up doing interviews with.
Cause you remember you had called me too and told me where you was.
Yeah, no, you knew where I was at because I remember talking to you.
Yeah, I told you.
I remember talking to you and I told you where I was at and all of that there.
Right.
And matter of fact, around that same time is when all of that took place with the police and all of that there coming to the house and all of that.
It was shortly after because I was surprised. Like, what? I just talked to him.
Yeah.
Because I told you, well, go and take care of your business. And after, I need to come get you. I'm going to take you to Atlanta. We're going to get some attorneys and we're going to take care of that.
Yeah.
And then then the situation happened. I found out, like, we called. I literally just talked to baby boy.
Yeah. It was man. When I tell you, bro, it was crazy because it's like I looked out there, I seen the record truck driver. I looked out there again, I seen one police car, and I seen my sister Charlotte in the back of that one police car. Look out there again, it's like 5 more police cars. Now I'm seeing neighbors and everything and all of them out there. So at that time, my mindset was like, okay, we finna go out. You know what I'm talking about? That's where my mind was at. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care, But at that moment, my niece, Antoinette, she was little at the time. She was still in the house. She was asking me to fix her something to eat, not knowing what was going on outside. So when I seen her, that changed my mind on what I was finna get ready to do. You know what I'm talking about? So at that time, that's when I went and hid in the house. And, they wasn't finna leave. They already knew I was there. They knew for a fact I was in the house, you know what I'm talking about? So then that's when they came, busting the house, busting the garage and everything, and that's when they ended up catching me. You know what I'm talking about? So that's when I got down there and they started trying
And now the real journey starts.
Yeah, now it gets serious.
Now it gets serious. All right, you went to jail for popping it in the knee, which you shouldn't have went to jail for, in my opinion, because the motherfucker stabbed you. Fuck it. You didn't go to jail.
I got probation. Probation.
The probation got the violation for the
yeah.
shooting. The shooting that we was in. Then you come back home. the other thing. One thing led to another. Your reputation is there now. You rock.
Yeah. No. At that time,
now,
my reputation is there.
Yeah. Now no more streets, no more sunshine from this side of the world.
Yeah.
Now you behind bars.
Yeah.
You're in Harris County Jail.
Yeah, I'm in Harris County Jail, and that's when they kept me locked up. As soon as I got in there, they put me in accident.
Yeah, you put you in accident. And how long were you in accident?
I stayed in accident 2 years.
How is accident?
Accident is terrible.
Explain it to us.
I mean, you're going to stay locked up for 23 hours out of the day. You're going to go out for an hour. Within that hour, you got to shower, try and make whatever phone call you're going to make. Look at whatever news or whatever they got on the TV that's out in the pod area. And, that ain't no time. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how accident was. You know what I'm talking about? You don't go nowhere. You don't do nothing.
So when you hear these young guys complaining about being locked up 23-1 here in 2022, you laugh at them?
Yeah, man. Because, I mean, it's like, I know what I was doing was going to get me where I was going, first of all. It's just that with a lot of these young guys now, it's like you out here, you doing this habit, and you don't think nothing is going to come from that. And then when it come, first thing you want to do is cry on national TV, talking about that's too much time.
Right.
One thing I ain't like I said, I ain't the baddest mother. But I know one thing. I didn't cry from the time I got caught to the time they told me they handed down my sentence.
When you got your sentence handed down to you, you told your mama.
Oh yeah.
Quit that weak ass crying or some shit.
No. It was I didn't say that to mom. I didn't tell her to quit the weak crying. It was in my thoughts.
Right.
Because we was standing in front of the judge at the time. They found me guilty and all of this here. And
so
I was at the sentencing.
You went to trial.
I went to trial.
Right.
I went to trial. So I was in the sentencing stages at this time. So when the judge told me, we sentence you to life in prison, I'm just like standing there like, okay, I'm ready to go back to my cell. But my mom, she don't start crying and all of this here. She come up to hug me and all that. The judge told me, y'all can have one last hug and all that there. So my mom and the lady that I was dealing with at this particular time, they came and hugged me or whatever. I don't even remember hugging them back.
Pointe Courier is a Georgia and Texas-based on-demand delivery service. We offer same-day, rush, and even direct drive delivery while guaranteeing top-notch, reliable, and quality service at the best competitive prices. Come try us out. Visit us at our website, pinpointcourier.com, or give us a call today for more information. Pinpoint, always pointing you in the right direction.
All right, we're going to pick up where we left off. So, you're in 23-1 lockup, Harris County Jail. We talking about some of the young men today complaining. Some of these artists get locked up, 23-1, turning big 5 books and all that. But we don't get into their life. We don't give a shit right about now. Anyway, we give a shit, but not right now. How about you? Leading up to this life sentence, in your mind you're saying, Mama, I don't want to be looking weak. You about to go to prison for life. When that man handed you a life sentence, was it with parole or without the possibility of parole?
It was with the possibility of parole. Because, they got the life sentence without parole. And then, they had a life sentence. At the time I caught my life sentence, I had to do 15 years flat before I even been considered to go before the board.
Because that was under the old law.
That was up under the old law. So I caught my case right before they changed the law to where you had to do, I think it's 25 or 35 before you come up.
Right.
So I had caught my case right before they implemented that law in September. September the 1st, that's when they implemented that law. But I caught my case right before 1992. So that's when I caught my case right before that, in August or something.
Oh, in August?
My case was like July, something.
Okay, you caught it right before. You got it.
It was some off in that time right there.
Right. It was summertime.
When I actually caught that charge that they charged me with, which was murder.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get charged with murder.
Mm-hmm.
You get in charged with murder. You got caught. You got charged with a bunch of shooting, and you beat some cases in between here and in between
Yeah.
as well.
Uh-huh.
Right. So everything about you was a violent case. So you know you're supposed to go to a violent form. You get life.
Mm-hmm.
You take that deep breath. You tell mama, hey, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You get ready. Now you can catch that change.
Mm-hmm.
And you get sentenced, and they designated you to where?
Well, you know you got to go through the transit unit, which
You
was
gotta go to
diagnostic.
Knoxville to
And that's,
Huntsville.
yeah, in Huntsville. And that's when they take you through whatever they take you through to let you know what unit you're going to go to and all of that. And that's when I was assigned to Beto 1 unit up in Palestine. That's when you first started coming to visit me.
Right.
I was on Beto then.
You know, Beto. Now, how was Beto when you first walked in there? Take us back to when you first walking in this form, known for violence,
Yeah.
rape, and everything back in the early
Yeah.
1990s.
Yeah.
How did you handle that, and how do you prepare yourself to enter that? This is a whole different world than the streets coming out the VA.
Yeah. I mean, going in there, you know, you're going to hear all kind of stories, you know, with dudes on the bus. Oh, man, what unit you going to? What unit you going to? Everybody want to know what unit you going to, you know. And, you know, you have some old head cats that's on the bus, and once they hear Beto, oh, man, I hope you know how to fight. That's the first thing they come out. But, you know me, I'm quiet. I'm sitting back. I'm just chilling. I'm listening.
You
just
reserve.
fight. I don't care about that. You know what I'm talking about? At this time, my mind is still totally messed up. Anything come before me, I'm ready to just annihilate it or get annihilated. It don't matter because my mind is still there. So I remember going to Beto. I go put my stuff up. Now have mine, I was on Beto before on one of my other charges, but I didn't stay there that long.
That was the one you did in turnaround.
Yeah.
The first.
Yeah, I didn't stay there that long. So when I pull back up on Beto, you know, it's like this prison for real, you know. And I remember at one point, I was going down to the day room, you know, and they was trying to see who knew and all of this here, you know. And then at this time they got like gangs and all this stuff in there, you know. We ain't come up on no gangs and colors back then. So
They had that early 1990s?
they had guys that was claiming gang affiliations.
What?
Yeah.
Bloods, GDs?
Crib, GDs, BDs. Then you had the Mexican Mafia, you had Tongo. I mean, you had all these different gangs up off of there this time right here. And it was really, really rough, you know. So like I said, I remember me sitting in the day room, a guy, they was standing over there to the side, and they just kind of like looking at me, you know what I'm talking about. So I already know what's up, you know what I'm talking about. So it's a few guys that's still there that know me, and then there's guys there that knew of me from the streets or whatever that was there too. So I'm basically sitting out to myself, because like I said, I want to see what's going on, you know. So I see the guys, they started looking at me, you know what I'm talking about. So I guess he tell one of the other guys, you know, go check me. And just to explain to the viewers or whatever, you know, what checking is. Checking is basically, you know, they want to see where your heart at, see if you're going to fight. You know, if you're going to fight, okay.
Fight or fuck.
Exactly. Fight, fuck, or bust a 60 is what they used to say.
Bust a 60.
Bust a 60. You had a $60 spin in commissary. So if you're not gonna fight or whatever, you're gonna go down there, you're gonna spend your people money, and I'm gonna go buy whatever you want me to go buy and give it to you.
All you gonna fuck.
All I'm gonna fuck. And I ain't having none of that. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So I remember seeing the guy point to the dude to go check me or whatever. So I remember the dude coming over there like, yeah, come on man, let's go ahead and get this here. So I remember like, okay, I said, all right, we're gonna get it, you know what I'm talking about? So I got up, I went over there, and I remember telling the dude that I seen that was telling him to go check me, I was like, you know, come on man, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. What's up? You know, you go to going out. I said, we gotta talk about it, let's go. You know, you sending somebody to check me, I ain't that one. So me and him, we fought. We get finished fighting. Then the guy that was supposed to check me and him fought. You know, so one
He
thing,
ain't want to fight.
he didn't want to fight at the time after he seen me and his so-called leader
Shot call.
go at it like we went at it. You know what I'm talking about? So I was like, no, we gonna fight. You know what I'm talking about? Because we finna get it out the way. You know. So me and him fight. So one thing that I learned about in there, if they see you got heart and they see you finna fight, and the level that you fight at, that's gonna determine if they're gonna try you again. So a lot of times, no, I didn't get tried too much. But I did, still had that attitude to where you say or do the wrong thing to me, we finna fight. We finna fight. Simple as that. We're not gonna talk about it. What's up? And then like I say, time go to passing. And as time went passing, it was like, man, I'm getting up in age, I'm tired, and I've been on that unit so long to where guys know me. So it ain't like go try rabbit. It was like, let me go try somebody else or whatever. So it was one of those things. So within that time, that's when I started kind of like calming down, realizing, okay, man, I
So before the calm down, you started your thing in there. You get in there. We start hitting. I know we start hitting on the street. You got your shit together in there. You want no punking now, and you take care of your business, make your money and all that. What made you form what you formed in now, and how did you make it to where it worked for you and it was respect throughout the TDC prison system?
At the time you're doing that, you really don't realize how big it get and how many people just respect it and know it until later on, But it's like we started GF. And GF is, Goodfellas, as you know what I'm talking about. And that was basically something,
That's your chain.
Yeah, that's my chain. GF, I'm talking about, I'm gonna rep this here for life. It ain't no gang, it's just something that we come together as one, because where we was at, we was up by Dallas area. So you have a lot of guys from Dallas.
We always had to fight them niggas.
Yeah, so it was one of those things to where you have new guys coming in. A lot of guys from Dallas, they'll check them and take their shoes and all of that there. So we was like, nah, we ain't finna do that. Only thing you gotta do is show us you gonna get out there for yourself, and you ain't gotta worry about no clicking. You ain't gotta worry about none of that. We all finna get out there.
So you took what we grew up on the streets and took it into the joint.
Oh yeah, you can say that. Yeah,
because you know how we was on the streets. A nigga try to click up on you, and you let me make it. Don't worry about it. I got you. Stay right there. We go get each other. Then y'all come. What you want to do this nigga? Nigga, nothing. One-on-one, baby.
Yeah,
get your bitch ass out of here.
We finna one-on-one. We finna fight. And that was the thing with GF. And then you see dudes coming in from Houston, don't have no money, don't have nothing, don't have no support. So, at that time, I was still kind of living the street life. So, you're going to get you a guard, whether it's male or female, that's going to bring you in, what you want. And at that time, I was getting a lot of, marijuana and stuff like that up off in there, talk about it. We said it, we making money, we doing what we doing, making sure everybody eat, making sure ain't nobody wanting for nothing, I'm talking about making sure we all good.
Right. You buzzing down a couple guards.
Yeah. Gotta survive, bro. I ain't gonna mess with another man, so that was never my thing right there, One thing I know, man, a woman gonna be a woman, you know what I'm talking about.
So tell me what was the most gruesome thing you seen, man getting raped, and what was the most enjoyable time you had in prison? Well, you could say, I know it's prison, but you really enjoy yourself. Because, a lot of people say they're in prison, but, man, they had some of the best times of their life. Basically riding with their partners, kicking it with people, having fun, actually having a real goddamn laugh. Because on the streets, it wasn't no laugh, wasn't no smiles, wasn't no jokes.
Yeah.
Everything was always serious. So what's the most gruesome to the most enjoyable, memorable time you had? Not saying you want to go back, because that was definitely hell.
No. Just understand, everything, like you say, everything that we talking about is just putting a light on what a lot of these young guys thinking is cool. I'm talking about, you thinking that you really ready for this life, and you ain't ready for this life, man, because, you go through some stuff, I'm talking about. And a lot of cats I done seen lose their mental to where they just lose it, period. They walk around like zombies. But some of the most gruesomest things that I saw, man, I done seen a lot, man, and one thing that I saw was this guy that got stabbed. I remember we was in the dorm. We was in the dorm, and we was looking. We was on the wing on the pod, and we was looking at TV. And where the TV area is at, you can see the hallway area. So a fight break out, and I go. Everybody run to the window trying to look out to see what's going on. And you see this one dude, man. He getting stabbed. You just see him boom, 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 boom. he getting stabbed up, you know. And by the time the guards come down, they close the crash gate, they shooting gas, and they making everybody sit down in the day room. So when the infirmary people got there with the stretcher and all that there to get ready to take him they got a life flight. This man literally had like a screwdriver in his chest, still sticking out his chest while he was running down the hallway with him. And that was one of the things to where it's like, man, you know, your life can end just like this. You know, I don't seen dudes climb up on the gates, you know, and just hang themselves. You know, I'm talking about literally me just sitting here looking at you just hanging from a gate, turning blue, your tongue hanging out your mouth. You know, so it's a whole lot of stuff, man, you know, that you
had a lot of fighting with the Mexicans.
Man, when I first got there, man, it was like it was a riot at least 3 times a week. And I ain't talking about just a couple of people fighting. I'm talking about full-fledged riots, you know, I'm talking about to where all the guards on hand gotta come and try to neutralize it. You'll have a riot over here on this wing that break off. So they gonna call it. They gonna say, like, riot on K wing, you know, and then all the guards gonna run over there to try to break it up. Then you'll hear the other officers say, riot on J wing. So now they done kicked it off on the other wing. So it's just like riots, it's gas, and that was some times to where I was in it, and it wasn't scary. I was in it because that's where my mind was at the time. But after I had them slow down, bro, seeing stuff like that was like, man, I can't do that.
What changed your mind to say, okay, this is some shit, and you got life. You come up for parole after 15 years, you get denied. You come up, how many times you been denied?
But I changed my life before I came up for that 15. Because it was one of those things to where it's like, as you get older, you get more wise or whatever. And I thank God that I still had my mindset to where it started getting to a point of growth. To where I was like, man, this ain't what's up. I gotta change this up. Something gotta change. And I remember telling my good fellas, I was like, man, look, this gonna be the last run. I'm not finna get nothing else in or whatever, so make this your best run. And after that there, man, you got like, one end of the building is like where all your troublemakers at. The other end of the building is where everybody relaxed, chill, got good jobs in the system and all of that there. So after I got rid of everything and finished everything, man, I went and let them know, hey man, I need to move. So, you know, back then you could pay somebody, you know, you had captains and all that was okay with you or whatever, that can pull some strings. So I got moved to the other good side of the building, and that's when I got in the craft shop.
Oh, okay, you got in the craft shop
and started trying to
making a hobby for yourself.
Yeah.
So how do you feel after the first and the second or third parole denial?
You know, me getting denied, when I first came up, I did 15 flat. I did 15 flat when I first came up. When I did the 15 flat, I knew I was gonna get a set off. I felt it. I knew, you know, it's my first time, murder charge, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I you know how the saying go, you know, man, you ain't gonna make your first one on a murder charge, whatever. But anyway, I felt like I was gonna get a set off. But I didn't know it was gonna be that much. So they gave me the max set off. At that time, the max set off for my sentence was 5 years. Normally people get like a year or 2 years and come right back up and see parole again, but they gave me the full max 5-year set off. That kind of like, it kind of hit me because at this time I don't slow down. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not getting caught up in nothing, you know. So I was thinking probably about a 2-3 year set off. But when they hit me with that 5 year, you know, that kind of like, it kind of stumped me. But at that time, that's when I told myself, I said, you know what? The next time I come up, I'm gonna have something else to show them to show that I'm steady progressing. Right. And that's what I did from that point on.
And I know at one point you was on death row.
No,
death row unit.
I was on the death row unit. That was later. That was later on.
Why did they put you on the death row unit?
I had got transferred because my sister got sick, so I told her to put in what they call a hardship to get me closer to the house, so they don't have that for the drive. Because if you remember, that was a long drive. Y'all coming from Houston, way up there where I was at. Yeah. So compared to when I got shipped to the death row unit, and
it wasn't a long drive for me.
No, I'm talking about. Well, no,
coming from Atlanta,
because you be driving like mud, but.
Used to.
It was a shorter drive. That's when they put me in Livingston. That's where the death row unit was at. Yeah. That's when I went to.
And then you was on that unit with my father. You didn't even know that was my father.
No, I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was him until after the fact.
Until you got out.
He left. He left literally like 3 days before I found out that was your old man, because I think I had talked to you.
Right.
I talked to you or Terry or somebody, because Terry was going up there to see, I think her husband's nephew or something.
Yeah, call her nephew, yeah.
Yeah. And at that time right there, I didn't know that was your old man. I had seen him around, but we didn't never speak, it was always respect.
Yeah. I do remember you going up there and I do remember you telling me, man, I think your old man was up here.
Yeah. I didn't know it was your old man at that time though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you're sitting up here, you're changing your ways, making everything better, but you got the life sitting on you. And I know you used to tell me when I used to come visit you, hey man, ain't no day promise. Bro, I accept one thing you said, I accept my responsibility. I'm accountable for what I do, something like that. And you like, shit, if I gotta be in for life, fucking nigga.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
However, I'm trying to get out, I'm trying to come home.
Yeah.
To change your life. And then that's when I talk to you, I'm trying to pick you to see where you want to
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that clearly. I remember you was trying to, I remember the question you asked me. You were like, oh, so it was a simple question you asked me. So where you at?
Yeah.
And by me already getting myself together, I knew where you was coming from. Yeah. Because I had already heard that, you had done started doing your thing out here in Atlanta, and you knew you was doing what you was doing, taking care of your business or whatever. And you was already not allowing certain people around you.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? And my mindset had done already elevated at that time. Yeah. So, when you asked me that, I just, I guess whatever I told you, you was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when you left, you was like, man, look, you need anything, whatever, just get word to me, I got you.
Right.
Yeah.
And okay, you doing the time in this hard prison. Beto, you get moved to what?
Pointe unit, yeah.
You get moved to Pointe, a little bit more laid back.
Yeah.
However, it's still prison.
Yeah.
It's still rocking. We're still rocking.
Yeah.
And now you got to readjust yourself, because the GF ain't followed you over there, no.
No, just people that knew of GF was still over there, because people get moved around throughout the system. So when I got to Pointe, a lot of people already knew me. A lot of people knew about GF. A lot of people knew about Beto and how I used to get down and the names that was ringing over there at certain times.
So when you say get down, what's get down?
Selling drugs, fighting, holding your own, taking care of your business over there,
Right. And what would you tell the youngsters today about the one that's on a path to that life? Because we call it hell. Mm-hmm. What would you tell them about hell?
Man, hell is like this here, man. A lot of times, like we thought we was ready for hell. We thought we was ready for hell, but we didn't realize that hell was really ready for us. You know what I'm talking about? We thought we was gonna break something. But like I tell them, man, today, a lot of these youngsters, man, they using different kind of drugs and things that they smoke that messes with their mindset on a whole nother level. So a lot of times, if you notice, once they create a crime and do something, and they come out of it and they back to themselves, they don't remember what they done. So their mind is really gone. I had back then what I call blackouts, and I'll do some stuff, but they got some straight up memory loss to where they really don't remember that they really went in here and done what they done. So
you think it's because they're on drugs?
Yeah, because I see a lot of them, they come in there, they on drugs and they don't remember. A lot of them that I started talking to, because they started, confiding to me about a lot of stuff.
Right.
And they honestly was like, I don't remember, man. I remember this, but that part, I don't remember, man. And that's when they'll say, man, we was smoking or popping whatever pills was popular at that time, and their mind was actually gone. So a lot of them out here basically trying to portray something that they're not.
So now you're home. Forget you're home. You're not home yet. Now you hear you done got parole. Now you know you went away from life, never coming home. So these people put the gratitude, the hope and opportunity to reestablish yourself, to become back a society, a human in society. You went when you was young, what, 22?
Yeah, I had just turned 22.
How you feeling?
When they gave me parole, you know, I didn't feel nothing because I was still there. And I had been gone so long to where it was like, man, nah, something gonna happen. They gonna come back.
You been behind prison longer than you been on the streets.
Yeah, exactly. I'm at 26 now.
Right.
I'm at 26 years
You
now.
48, 49 years old.
Yeah. I'm
at 50.
I'm at 26 years flat now. And when they told me, I remember the parole lady, you know what I'm talking about, because the area I used to work at, I used to see all the time, and she knew me, you know what I'm talking about, so she always let me know, well, you ain't got no answer yet. So when she finally told me, you know, you made parole, I'm like, man, go on, you know, I'm thinking she playing, and she was like, no, I'm for real. So she actually took me in her office and turned the computer screen around so I can see parole granted, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, man. So when they said FI1 means like within the 30 to 45 days.
How long it took you to get out of there within that time?
It took me the full 45 days because I think something else was taking place within the whole system wide to it slowed the releases down. So I think within 45 days I was out.
Did you tell anybody you come home?
No, just my mom. But you know.
I'm talking about inside the system.
Inside the system?
Your inmates, your fellow inmates.
Oh man, they know. They know everything. Once them guards find out, the parole people, they know guards and be like, oh, you know, Jesse made parole. Like, oh, well, man, that's good. So now they tell this dude and this dude tell this dude. But I only told probably about 4 people that I was really close to. You know, my nephew, one of them that was Dante. You know, man, thank God, I just found out he made parole. That's David, brother.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
he coming home.
Yeah, he coming home. He just made parole. I just found that out yesterday, I think.
So now you come home. You done did 26 motherfucking years.
Yeah.
26 motherfucking years.
26, bro. 26.
You went in at 22.
Yeah.
How you feeling? What you thinking when you walk out them doors, unshackled, fucking free? Where you going when technology and everything changed? It's a whole different world from, because you behind wall for 26 motherfucking years.
Yeah. My whole thing was this right here. Pay attention to who the people I deal with. That was my whole thing. So when my mom and my sister came to pick me up, it was understood. I don't need nobody else to come pick me up. Y'all the ones rode this whole 26 with me. You know what I'm talking about? So when my mom and my sister came to pick me up, man, you know, we went to eat, man, and we went straight to my brother's house out in Katy. And that's when my daughter and my son, you know, they came out there, and you know, we all had what they call.
I flew out there.
Yeah, you flew out there.
The next day.
Yeah, you was out there because, matter of fact, I think I still got pictures when me, you, my son, and all of us was at the house.
I came out there.
Yeah, because you found out I was out, and then you flew. Matter of fact, you flew out the next day because
the very next day.
Yeah, because my daughter and them and everybody was still there.
Cause me, you, Junior, and Dominic, we all took a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to come down there and see you, check on you. I had to be prepared to do what we spoke to about in the joint.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you come home from the joint, now, you take that deep breath, you're looking around, you're enjoying the trees, you're enjoying the freedom. Where your mind at? Because 26 motherfucking years is a long ass time. Where your mind at to where you could tell these youngsters where they mind gonna be if they go through 26 motherfucking years and they ain't number 20 years old?
A lot of them, they not gonna have their mind. They gonna lose it. The way prison is now, you're doing longer stretches. I did a long stretch, but the short time that they might think they have, they doing a full time. So a lot of them, like I say, they think they ready, but their mindset is not, because you look at them right now on social media, getting one dude. I think I looked at him. He got 15 years, just told him 15
13.
years. He bust out crying, saying what he can't do.
Yeah, he ain't got 13 years.
So right there, I already know. Once you get in that system and that system start beating you up like that, and you start seeing or experiencing some things that you thought you was ready for, man, you finna lose it, bro. A lot of them is not gonna. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna be real. A lot of them is not gonna make it, bro.
When they come home, they gonna make it.
A lot of them ain't gonna. The ones that make it out and come home, gonna probably be messed up in the head to where a family member not gonna be able to deal with them. A lot of them is not gonna make it out of there. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them go down there with a little time and get bullied into doing something else to get them more time. I seen a lot of that too. Dudes coming out in 2 years. You don't got affiliated. Now you gotta go put a hit out on this dude right here and shank him.
And then that wasn't even your time. You supposed to come on down and go home.
Nah.
But because you was scared.
Yeah. You trying to get with somebody to help you do this time and protect you. Now they sending you out there to do something to get you more time. And you already can't even handle the 2 years you got. So now you shank somebody or kill somebody, and now you got 30, 40, 50 years, probably a life sentence. You see what I'm saying? So, it's one of them things, man, to where they out here and they moving like they moving and they think they really ready because they look live. But once you got them shackles on you, man, and you got that orange jumpsuit or whatever county you in jumpsuit on, it's a whole nother story.
Yeah, there's a whole nother story. Which brings us to the story of you home. You free. You build yourself up. You doing some mentoring with Pointe with us.
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
For sure.
And you done bought your house now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
bought your house, bought you a couple cars.
I'm gonna tell you like this here. Man.
What can you give these young guys today? And you didn't get nothing illegal.
No.
Everything. Because you won't touch the streets.
No.
Even though you was a known weapon person, gangster, everybody know, still to this day in your area, not to fuck with you.
Yeah.
What kind of advice you give them, which I know you now, you don't care nothing about the reputation.
Mm-hmm.
You still stand on your own as a man. What can you tell them? What would you want to say to them? Or just about your life experience is molding yourself to who you are now.
The whole thing about it, man, you make it out. Young man, you make it out. Look at your surroundings. Your surroundings gonna tell you everything. If you was dealing with somebody that's still out here, they still moving reckless and doing what they doing, they let you know you finna get ready to go back. Change up your whole atmosphere, bro. If you see clearly yourself right now. I don't deal with a lot of cats that I dealt with before.
Right.
If I'm dealing with somebody, it's because they doing something positive or they helping me, showing me something to better myself. And that's what a lot of them have to understand, man. It's who you surround yourself with.
Right. It's who you surround yourself with. So basically.
Welcome to the new townhome residence coming soon, Pointe Park. These modern luxury units will be located on Butner Road in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, just minutes away from the downtown area and the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. The 7 units will include an open floor plan, rooftop patio, 3 bedrooms with 2 masters, and so many more luxurious details. For more information on Pinpoint Foundation's latest development, please visit pinpointfoundation.org. And for interest in pre-sales, please visit our website, pinpointbrokers.net. We hope your new home awaits you.
So how are you with your family right now?
Man, my family, we very supportive of each other, man. Very supportive. And that's a big thing, man. You know, the support. You know, if you got a strong support system, man, embrace it, bro. Embrace that support system, man. And just know that you're not walking this walk by yourself. You know what I'm talking about? You got somebody that's walking this walk with you that only want the best for you.
And what about with your family members that you fell out with?
I gotta leave them alone. Because matter of fact, I told my family straight off the shoot. If you want something that's interrupting my peace, I'm gonna have to get out your way. And I done that with family members, and I don't feel bad about it. You know, people might like, man, but that's family. Yeah, I understand. Family is family. But if you interrupted my peace to where you might get me in a position to where I go back to that hellhole, what I'm gonna deal with you for?
Right. You can't let nothing disrupt you to where they send you back to hell.
For sure.
And when I say hell, that means prison. Because
Exactly.
we know one thing about prison, that was hell.
Yeah.
Especially when you come up in the capacity at the time where you come up in.
Mm-hmm.
I know you told me a couple of times, what was it, Dumashain Brothers? Or something?
Oh, Dumashain, that's when I was in the
Dumashain.
county, yeah.
Dumashain Brothers, when you got into them guys breaking out chains, and then you got to encounter people like that.
Yeah.
Strong, cock diesel, strong
Yeah.
motherfucker, breaking out chains. And then you got to encounter motherfuckers that you know mean you no good, but they savvy. So let me figure this on, bitch. So I wanted to kill them, but at the same time, they gonna learn to respect me.
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you do not have to answer. I can ask you have, or I can ask you how many, or have you ever had to put only to speak of statute of limitations?
Sure.
Put that knife in one of the motherfuckers.
No. You know, cause and now, you know, it's like one thing that I can't say.
26 years.
Out of 26 years. One thing I can't say I learned how to hit. A lot of people punch. I learned how to hit. So you hit a person the right way, they gonna feel that power.
Can I talk some shit?
Yeah, you can talk some shit.
Did I teach you niggas that coming up?
You teach a nigga what?
I teach you and the rest of all of us, you, the Mark, Ty, Byron, everybody when we coming up how to hit.
No, you didn't teach
I
me
wanna
how to
talk
hit.
some shit.
I learned how to hit. I learned how to fight when we was out in the world, when we was doing what we was doing. I learned how to hit when I was in prison.
Nah, nigga, I taught you niggas how to
I mean, you know, like I said, I beg to
nigga, I
differ.
used to knock niggas out.
You can say you can say it how you want to say it, and it is what it is. Like I say,
I like
one
talk
thing
shit.
I can say that you
I ain't
was
gotta
doing,
talk little shit.
motherfucker already knew we gonna fight.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
we
talking
gonna do
about?
that.
So, you know, if I go to jail, man, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight.
Yeah,
But
we
like
gonna
I
do
say, it's a difference. It's a difference. You had cats that knew how to hit back then. I didn't know how to hit. I knew how to fight. And then I didn't care about fighting. I learned how to hit when I got in prison. I learned how to hit because I ran across a lot of guys that actually box professionally. You know what I'm talking about? And when we used to like work out together, I had a hard workout. And we'll work out together and then we'll start messing around together. So that is when I really learned how to hit. So hitting and fighting, that's why me personally, I always say it's different. When I learn how to hit and I can hit you a certain way to where you feel what you finna get, they don't want to deal with a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
They want somebody that's gonna take it easy, fold up. Oh, we ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Same way you gonna give it, I'm gonna give it, and we gonna talk about it later.
Yeah, I like talking that shit. You know,
Oh, yeah, you talk a lot
yeah,
of shit.
Not a lot, nigga. I just said,
You talk a lot of shit.
I like talking that shit, but I just wanted to put that out there, cause you know how we used to hit like a motherfucker. But you know, it's good to see a brother coming out in this world today, 2020. Well, you come home in 2018.
2018.
2018, August 29th.
Yeah.
2018. 4 years you've been home.
August 29th, man, 4 years.
Right, 48 months. And in that 48 months, how much has changed for you to where you could give something back to where you think, you can't save the world, but out of 100 motherfuckers, you can save one. What would you tell them and what would you show them that you could actually give back and show for not selling no drugs, not doing no killing, not doing no fight, because you did absolutely nothing wrong. What would you tell them? What would you show them?
It can be done by my walk. Simple as that. Because a lot of young cats that I don't run across, you know what I'm talking about. The stuff that you get. I remember. I'm gonna say this here. Me and you had a talk, and you was like, "Man, I'm gonna give you something that's gonna help you live life." And I'm like, okay. And that's when you started showing me about credit. So when you started showing me about credit, remember when I left, wasn't nobody on no credit stuff and all of that. I ain't know nothing about that. You know, all my money was in my pocket. You see,
none of us know about credit.
So when you start showing me about credit this, credit that, this, I was very attentive. A lot of people can't come and tell me stuff because I really don't care. I have a very strong respect for you. So it was like when you was telling me something, and I'm seeing your actions.
But not just tell. I was just say showing.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing your actions with it. I'm like, why wouldn't I want to listen to somebody that is working for? Why not? You know what I'm talking about? So you started showing me credit. I see it start working. Now my credit is good. So now I run across young guys and I see them working, but they this and that. I go to tell them, how your credit looking? What's up with your credit? So I literally went to mimicking what you showed me about credit to them. And some catch it and some don't.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I don't have some that don't reach back out to me to let me know, man, say bro, and you know, and they be happy that now they got good credit.
Right.
You know, so that's what I tell people.
But you know what's ironic and funny? Credit on the street is the same as credit with these creditors. Because credit on the streets, you do right by whoever giving you something, they're going to continue to give you something. Like the creditors, you do right by them, they're going to increase your credit limit.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people didn't understand that. They think you can fuck over the people who give you credit to support your credit report, but fuck over the people, but not fuck over the people who give you stuff in the street. And it's the same thing. Because you want to sit up here, I want to make myself look good for you and for this credit department agency that gave me some money.
Yeah.
Gave me $20,000 to spend a month. No matter what, as long as I pay it back, I'm going to get it. If I keep paying it back right, I'm going to increase.
Yeah.
You ain't getting that shit on the street from a nigga.
Yeah.
Without a nigga threatening you. So that credit is so important. What people don't realize how important it is. You just think it's important for the moment to get what the fuck it is you want.
Exactly, yeah.
But no, it go beyond that. The same way with you coming home, conditioning your mind to make sure I don't go back there, and it go beyond me just getting denied parole. It go beyond me just being out here being a gangster. It go beyond me out here, me inside building Goodfellas. It go beyond me doing one thing that say, hey, I gotta change my life. I get something down the road. Only because I'm through transfer, I'm getting transferred to another union. But y'all gotta see me differently. See, it goes so much further beyond to where at some point in time, you have to realize you molded yourself into that beyond space. So you gotta realize you put the time into where you did the changing to get to that place where we beyond. The where is have an understanding of that once now beyond, this is who you is. I can't do that shit no more. Even though I smash you, but I can't because, not because I'm scared.
Yeah, exactly.
But because I got too much to lose.
Yeah.
You know, so you have really grown to be who you are today. And during 26 motherfucking years, a lot of people don't realize you can't take that kind of time for granted. You got people that did 2 decades, the people that 3, people like yourself did 2.5 plus 1. That's a lot of time to be gone from the outside.
Yeah.
On the inside, you got a totally different world.
Yeah.
And that totally different world is survival every day of the fittest.
Yeah.
It's not a one-day thing like we got here. You might encounter something different, but let me stay away from you. And now you can't stay away from a nigga who wanna sail on top of you, who got just as much hate mustered up in them than you.
It's hard
really,
yeah.
yeah. So everybody always gotta look hard. Everybody always gotta prove themselves. Everybody always gotta be prepared. Everybody always gotta have on these boots. Everybody always got a crew with them.
Yeah.
So you living like that, the sanity coming home. How did you know? How that put you? Cause I know it was a big change from you doing 26 motherfucking years, coming home. Damn, I ain't think I never see this. I got life.
Yeah.
I know I formed good fellas. I know I'm fucking this girl still over here. I know niggas respecting me. I know I'm getting denied. I'm trying to get goddamn me on granny parole. It's a life you living that we don't know nothing about. How you transition and keep the motherfucking sanity throughout the transition? Because a lot of people can't do it. I done seen a lot of them break the fuck down.
Yeah.
And I seen a lot of them lie.
You know, one thing I used to always tell dude be like, yeah, man, you know, as soon as I get out, man, I'm gonna go ahead on and do this. I always say, why wait till you get out? I start conditioning myself then. You know what I'm talking about? When I started getting myself together, when I was still behind bars, I stopped dealing with dudes that wasn't shit. I stopped dealing with rotten cats, you know what I'm talking about? I just stayed away from them. That's why I got in the craft shop. Because I started getting around people that got something to lose.
You say rotten?
Yeah, if you got something to lose, you're gonna think twice before you do something stupid.
You know it's like that in the world.
Yeah, same thing out here. So I'm gonna surround myself with other people that got something to lose that don't want to lose it. So I got things now, since I've been home, that I don't want to lose. So why am I gonna sit up here and hang around a lot of cats that still running the streets, acting a certain way, don't care about losing nothing? It don't make sense. Cause I'm gonna get caught right back up in that same atmosphere with them. So my transition started before I even much came out. That's why a lot of times people say, if I didn't know that you done that time or was gone, I couldn't see it.
Nah, you're right. You couldn't see it because you don't act like somebody did 26 years. But you know, y'all know we can talk about this all night at Pinpoint Podcast. We're gonna have Miss Jessie Hill back out here another time because we got so much to talk about. But we got so much short time to give y'all.
Yeah.
So what one thing we're gonna do, we hope y'all enjoyed this Pinpoint Podcast. You know what I mean? And you understand what he just said where you finished, where he let them know is what? You don't remember?
As far as what? What part, man? We talked about a lot of stuff, bro.
He said about the time he got to give and the time he got to do. You follow what I'm saying? And that's what we're gonna close this out in. One thing about this life is we have to have a thorough understanding of if you traveling down that road of danger, of talking about killing and talking about selling drugs, talking about going to prison on that road down that life, you gotta be prepared for the life that's behind them bars. And the life that's behind them bars, tell them, it ain't no friendly life.
Ain't friendly at all. Ain't friendly.
Not only is it not friendly, it's a life that you gotta know you prepared for and strong enough to endure.
And even when you think you prepared for it, you ain't.
Yeah, because one thing on the street is another thing behind the bars. Because you got predators behind the bars. You got people behind the bars that got a life, they ain't never come home. You got people behind the bars that did 20, 30, 40 years. Nigga ain't coming home. They see you not like a man, but like a woman.
Yep.
And how you gonna do it? That motherfucker lift weights every day.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna do that? You see what I'm saying? So, today is the day about Pinpoint Podcast. About speaking to Mr. Jessie Hill, who did 26 years, coming home from a life sentence, being blessed to be paroled. And I want him to close this out to you guys. You close it out, baby.
Okay, first of all, I want to appreciate you, Mr. Murphy, for doing everything you've done, not just for being on the podcast today. So I'm going to say this right here, man. It can be done. It can be done. Only thing I tell you is don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Get out here, Surround yourself with people that only want the best for you and watch and see how you grow. Pay attention. If they doing something shady, get away from it. Move around. And that's basically what I got to tell you for right now. Until next time.
I like that. Hey, this Mr. Menifee with Pinpoint Podcast. We know we did a little something different today, new location. Not a new location, different location. Hey, we just want to say thank y'all for joining us. We ask that you guys follow us on Pinpoint Foundation YouTube. Y'all want to hear Mr. Jesse Hill speak to the youth, speak to about other more important things. Well, ain't nothing more important than what we talked about today and the things that he talked about yesterday. Because all things are relevant and important. But if you want to hear Mr. Hill talk about anything, follow us on our YouTube at Pinpoint Foundation. That's PENPOINTE Foundation. And you go look up Jesse Hill, and you'll see him speaking to the youth. You'll see him talking to the police officers that was out there at the time when he was getting arrested, from the time he come home, that admire and still respect him to this day. Hey, we want you guys to have an understanding of today on this Memorial Day, what we giving back to you guys from Pinpoint is Mr. Hill talking about his prison life and how he wished to save a lot of you youth, a lot of you young men in your 20s and your early 30s, 40s, whatever you is, even if you're in your 50s like we are, to make sure you make better life decisions. Pinpoint Foundation, that's what we all about. We all about real estate, but today is all about life and choices that we make. We are.